I'm happy to see you in this video session of Unit 23 Conservation of Plants and Animals. So let's move on to this video session.
Conservation of plants and animals. Our planet Earth is filled with so many species of plants and animals, isn't it? So, according to the scientists, there are 70 to 100 lakh species on the Earth. Total, all these animals are called as a biodiversity. Bio means life, diversity means different. This biodiversity means the variety of life forms on the earth and essential interdependence of all the living organisms. So, in this lesson, we are going to learn about the deforestation, endangered species, conservation of plants, animals, and wildlife sanctuaries and national parks. The first important point is deforestation. The forests are very important, that is renewable resources. There are 30% of the world land surface they cover. Okay, they produce oxygen and maintain the level of carbon dioxide in this atmosphere. So forests are very important of the goods like paper, timber and medicinal plants also. So they control the water runoff, protect soil and regulates the climate changes. But the forests all around the world are being destroyed. Destruction of the forest in order to make the land available for different uses is known as deforestation. Deforestation has resulted in several ecological imbalance and such as increase in temperature, deficiency in rainfall too. Causes of deforestation. Deforestation may caused by the nature or maybe the human activities. The flood, fire are the natural causes of deforestation. Human activities are also responsible for the deforestation. So, there are so many sessions in this deforestation. The first one is agriculture expansion. It increase the population, it is overgrowing demand for the food protection. The large amount of trees are chopped down for a crop protection and cattle grazing. More than 40% of forests are cleaned to maintain the obtain the land to meet a needs for agriculture and urbanization. With the expansion of the cities, more land is needed to establish housing and settlement. Mining of coal, diamond and gold requires large amount of forest land. Construction of dams to provide a water supply to increasing the population, large size dams are constructed. For that, the great extent of forest area is to be used. Timber protection. We need wood to meet the needs of our daily life. Wood based industries like paper, matchsticks, furniture need a substantial amount of wood supply. So, wood is most commonly used fuel. Forest fire. In many forests, fires are usually expected from time to time. They may caused by humans, accidents, and natural factors. The last one is cyclone. Cyclone destroy the trees on the massive scale. They not only destroy the trees but also affected the livelihood of so many peoples who depend on them. Effects of deforestation. There has been a long history of interdependence between the man and the forest. Our survival without the forest will be very difficult. They supply us the oxygen we need, cause rainfall, and provide so many things need for our life. In India alone, 10 lakhs hectares of forest are destroyed and resulted for many harmful effects. Extinction of species, that is, the deforestation, has resulted in the loss of many wonderful species of plants and animals. Soil erosion. Widespread trees in the forest protect soil from the heat of the sun. When cutting down the trees, soils are exposed to the sun's heat. Water cycle. Trees suck the water from the roots and release the water into the atmosphere in the form of vapor during transpiration. Flood. Trees absorb and store the large amount of water with help of the roots. When the trees are cut down, what will happen? The flow of water is disrupted and leads the flood in some areas. Global warming. We inhale oxygen and the present in the atmosphere, isn't it? And also we will release a carbon dioxide gas. In turn, T3 absorbs the carbon dioxide and provides oxygen during photosynthesis. The deforestation reduce the number of trees. What will happen? The amount of carbon dioxide is be increases. Carbon dioxide along with the water vapor, methane, nitrous oxide and ozone forms the greenhouse gases, and these gases are responsible for the global warming. Destruction of a homeland. Indigenous people live and depend the forest for their survival. They get their food for many other resources from the forest. So, destruction of the forest affects their livelihood. Amazon forest. You know very well about this forest. This is the largest rainforest in the world, located in Brazil. It covers totally 60,000 square kilometer. It helps to stabilize the earth climate and slow global warming by fixing carbon dioxide and producing 20% of the world oxygen in this process. It has about the 390 billion trees. It is the lungs of the planet. Afforestation. We all know very well. Due to the deforestation, the climate changing takes place. There is no seasonal rainfall. Because of this, many cities are facing the water scarcity and many lands are become very barren. Water is needed for every life to extend in this earth. So we need to grow forest. Afforestation is a process planting the trees or sowing the trees in the barren plant to create a forest. Afforestation helps to create a forest differently from the natural forest. Importance of afforestation. So afforestation helps in wild animals even to the human. Afforestation can increase the supply of oxygen and it also consumes the atmosphere to get more rainfall. So planting trees can increase a rainfall. By planting the trees, the amount of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere can be reduced, which is affects air pollution, greenhouse gas, and global warming can be controlled. Afforestation enables to avoid the desertification of land. Barren lands experience a strong wind and it also causes a soil erosion. So afforestation helps to grow more trees so that we can hold the topsoil along with this nutrition. Creating forests provides us a fodder, fruits, firewood, and many other resources. Industries need specific type of trees. Afforestation helps us to grow at a particular type of trees. Reforestation. It is a natural or intentional replanting of existing forest that has been destroyed through the deforestation. It may sound similar to afforestation, but both are not same. Reforestation is replanting the trees in the land area which had lost in its forest cover for some reason. But afforestation means growing the forest in the area which originally had no tree cover. So the importance of the reforestation is it's important for protecting the habitat, increasing the supply of the forest products, and reforestation improves the quality of air. The effects of deforestation can be checked and global warming can be reduced. Reforestation restores the habitat loss, degradation, and remove the threats to the species. So reforestation maintains a water cycle of the area as trees absorb the moisture through the leaf and roots. Transpiration of the trees helps to restore the moisture of the atmosphere and to maintain the temperature in the local environment. So we will have a difference between reforestation and deforestation and afforestation and well as reforestation. So cutting down the trees is called as deforestation. Growing or planting it is called as a reforestation. So afforestation means trees are planted in the new area where is no forest cover. Endangered species, that is, our country is a home of a variety of species with a rich flora and fauna. Flora is a plant life occurring in a particular area. Fauna is the animal life occurring in a particular area. So here we have a long-tailed lion macaque and snow leopard and Aztec lion and Nilgiri thar. These are the endangered species of animal. Each year, that is 22nd May, is celebrated as a World Biodiversity Day. Biodiversity is termed as to describe the different plants, animals, marine life, microorganisms, insects, habitats, ecosystem that make our planet so unique and so fascinating. The next one is endangered plants. Indian mallow and Raffia flower, umbrella tree and Malabar glory lily. Here I gave you the two example. One is umbrella tree and Raffia flower. Some lizards, turtles, crocodiles and birds, some falcon, eagle, duck, pigeons, the mammal, the white cat such as tiger, lion, deer and the black buck, chiru, musk deer, rhino, elephants, blue whale. In this, the endangered species of animal and endangered of plant are umbrella tree, Malabar lily, and Indian mallow, muesli plant, and these are the endangered plants. Here we will have the Emion butterfly has been declared the state butterfly of Tamil Nadu. This species is endemic to Western Ghats. It is among us 32 butterfly species found in West Ghats. Causes of endangerment. There are various reasons why the species may become the endangered or extinct. Some of them are explained here. I gave you some of the important points. One is a loss of habitat. The trees that provide food and shelter to so many species are destroyed due to the human intervention. Overhunting and poaching. Large numbers of animals are hunted for their thorns, skin, teeth, and other valuable products also. Pollution. Number of animals are affected by the pollution like air pollution as well as the water pollution. New habitat. Sometimes animals are taken by the people to the new habitat where they do not naturally live. Some of them may extinct and some may survive. The new ones may also get attacked by the species already living there. So this is also the one reason for that. And the next one is chemicals. We used pesticides and other chemicals to get rid for damaging insects, pests or weeds. But they can also poison desert plants and animals if do not use them correctly. Diseases. Diseases due to the various unknown reason may affect the animal. Natural calamities. Animals may also be destroyed due to the natural disasters like flood and fire. At one time, dinosaur friend and some gymnosperms were widespread on the earth. They disappeared from the earth, maybe due to the shortage of space and food or due to the climate change also. Saving the endangered species. We all know very well nature is a beautiful and it is filled of different plants as well as animals. So we should need to take a certain measure to protect them and preserve them. Some of them I am going to explain now. So some of the animal species are endangered because of hunting and poaching. Controlling pollution, it is another important thing which can have the positive impact on animal, fish, birds all over the world. When consume more and more polluted or put into that environment, by consuming less we can protect the ecosystem. So animals often mistake plastic for food, and hence plastic is very harm and which will cause the endangerment of many species. So limited amount of plastics and recycling it can be save the endangered animal. Recycling things and buying eco-friendly products will preserve the environment resources and hence the animal. Pesticides and chemicals which cause damage to the environment should be avoided. Planting native trees like provide food to the animals. Planting the native trees, neem tree, umbrella tree, banyan tree in our surrounding, which is very helpful to the animal, and many birds and animal find shelter in those trees. In order to preserve the plants and animals, government has took a more initiative, and as they introduced some of the act also passed to protect them. For example, the tiger project tiger, okay, that will be initiated in 1972. This is to protect the Bengal tiger. It is launched on the 1st April of 1973. So we have, apart from that, we have so many acts. That is Madras Wildlife Act in 1873, All India Elephant Preservation Act in 1879, Wild Bird and Animal Protection Act in 1912, Bengal Rhinoceros Preservation Act in 1932, All India Wildlife Protection Act in 1972, Environmental Protection Act in 1986. So these are the acts are initiated by the government. Next we are going to learn about the Red Data Book. What is mean by Red Data Book? It is a file for recording the rare and endangered species of animal, plants and fungi. Even some sub-local subspecies that extends within the territory, state or country is recorded in this Red Data Book. It is also very important data, and it is maintained by the International Union for Conservation of Nature. It is an international organization working in the field of nature of conservation and sustainable use of natural resources. It was founded in 1964 with the aim of maintaining a complete record of every species that ever lived. The Red Data Book classifies the species mainly into three categories: threatened, not threatened and unknown. So this book is also gives the information about why the species has become extinct, along with the population trends and distribution. And here we'll be having a IUCN red list categories. So all the species evaluated addicted data are here. And WWF, that is a World Wildlife Fund, ZSI, Zoological Survey of India, BRP, Biosphere Reserve Program, CPCB, Central Pollution Control Board, the IUCN, that is International Union for Conservation of Nature. Advantages of Red Book and disadvantages of Red Book we are going to see. So advantages of Red Book, which is used to evaluate the population of the particular species, and this book are used to evaluate the species in the global level, and it is also used to the guidelines of the implementing measures to protecting the endangered species. The risk of the species becoming globally extinct can estimated with the help of this book. The disadvantages of this Red Data Book: the information available in this Red Data Book is incomplete. Many extinct species is not updated in this book. Source of this book data has been speculated. This book is maintained complete record of all animal, plants and other species, but it doesn't have any information about the microbes. So the World Wildlife Day is observed on March 3rd every year. Here we will have the conservation according to WWF, that is World Wildlife Fund. There have been 60% of decrease in the size of population of animals, birds, fish, reptiles and amphibians over the past 40 years. You can able to believe this, children. So in order to do something for the future generation, we need this conserve it now, correct? No. Conservation is the most protection, preservation, management of wildlife and natural resources such as forest and water. Conservation of biodiversity helps us to protect, maintain, recovered, endangered animals and the plant species also. In this conservation, we have the two types: in situ conservation, that is within the habitat, and ex situ conservation, that is outside the habitat. In situ conservation, we will have totally in India 73 national parks and 416 sanctuaries and 12 biosphere reserves. It is nothing but conservation of living resources with a natural ecosystem in which they occur. It is achieved by the protection of natural habitat, maintenance of endangered species in certain protected areas such as national park, wildlife and bird sanctuaries. National park, we have so many national parks are in India which are strictly reserved for the betterment for the wildlife. National parks are covered to 100 to 500 square kilometers. So here we will have the in Uttarakhand, Uttar Pradesh, Gujarat, Madhya Pradesh, West Bengal. Here we will have the national parks. Okay. And wildlife sanitary. It is in our Tamil Nadu is Theni, Chennai, Tirunelveli, Virudhunagar, Kanjipuram. In Theni it is 2016, Chennai is 1991 and Tirunelveli is 1976. Virudhunagar we had in 1988 and Kanchipuram is 1936. This sanitary is a protected area which is reserved for the conservation of animals only. Biosphere reservoirs. Biosphere, it is protected the area where human population also forms a part of the system. The biospheres reserves in India is in UP, Meghalaya, Assam, West Bengal, Tamil Nadu, Andaman and Nicobar as well as Orissa. So advantages of this conservation is it can interact with each other and adapt to the habitat. It can be maintained, which is very less expensive, and it is also very easy to manage. Needs of indigenous peoples are protected. Next one is ex situ conservation. It is a conservation of the wildlife outside the habitat, establishing the zoos and botanical garden, conservation of genes, seedlings and tissue cultures. The first one is botanical gardens where the flowers, fruits and vegetables are grown. Zoological parks, here the area where the wild animals are conserved. The oldest zoo is in the Venia, established in the year of 1759. In India, the first zoo was established in the Barajpur in the year of 18th century. Tissue culture. It's a technique of growing plant cells, tissues, organs and seeds. Seed bank. Seed bank is preserve the dry seeds by storing them in a very low temperature. Sycro bank. It is a technique by which a seed or embryo is preserved in very low temperature. Advantages of this conservation is it's prevent a decline of species. Endangers can be bred in these ways. Threatened species are breeded and released in natural environment, and it is very useful for conducting the research as well as scientific work. PBR, People's Biodiversity Register. It is a document which contains the information about this bioresources. This bioresources means plants, animal, microorganism and the genetic material byproduct with actual or potential use or value. So this committee prepares a People's Biodiversity Register with the guidance and technical support of a National Biodiversity Authority, as well as it has a State Biodiversity Board. So this registers which have the complete documentation of biodiversity in the area related to the plant, food source, wildlife, medicinal source, traditional knowledges, etc. Biomagnification. What is mean by biomagnification? Increasing the contaminated substance due to the intoxicating environment. That is, the contaminants might make heavy metals such as mercury, arsenic, pesticides such as polychlorinated biphenyl, that is DDT, is a dichloro diphenyl trichloroethane. These are the substances taken by the organism through the food and they can consume when the organism is higher in the food chain. So we will having the causes and also effects of biomagnification. Causes: the agriculture pesticides, pesticides and fertilizers, fungicides are very toxic. Uh, Organic contaminants cause very adhesive impact. Industrial activities release toxic substances. Mining activities generate large amount of sulfate and selenium deposited in water. Effects of biomagnification is: it is more impact on human causing cancer, kidney problem, liver failure and so many defects and disorders are there. And it also affects the reproduction and development of marine organism. Destruction of coral reef affects the lives of many aquatic animals. So chemicals and the toxins which are released into the water body disrupt the food chain. We all heard the word Blue Cross. This is Animal Welfare Organization. So this is a registered animal welfare charity in United Kingdom founded in 1897. Our Dump League friend. The vision of this charity is a very pet will be enjoy their healthy life with a happy home. So Blue Cross is founded to care the working horse on the streets of London, UK. It is opened its first animal hospital in Victoria, London on 15th May of 1906. Captain V. Sundaram founded the Blue Cross in India, the largest animal welfare organization of Asia in Chennai in this year of 1959. He was an Indian pilot and animal welfare activist. Now, Blue Cross of India is a country's largest animal welfare organization and it runs several animal welfare events like pet adaptation and animal right awareness too. So many of the students are heard about what is meant by Blue Cross. This is a animal welfare organization. The main office are located in Guindy, Chennai, and like hospitals, shelters, ambulance service and animal birth control etc. also. And this activity of organization including the providing shelter, rehome and abortion, animal birth control and maintaining hospitals and mobile dispensaries. CPCSCA. It stands for the Committee for the Purpose of the Control and Supervision of the Experiment on Animals. So it is a Prevention Cruelty to the Animal Act in 1960. It's been functioning since in 1991. To avoid the necessary pain before and after this experiment, to promote the human care of animals used in this experiment, to provide the proper guidelines for the animal housing, breeding and maintenance, to promote the human care of animals used in biomedical and research and testing centers. So function of this experiment of an animal is approval of animal house facilities, permission of conducting experiment using the animals, action against the establishment in the case of established violation, registration of an establishment conducting animal experimentation of breeding of animals for these purposes.